Welcome to the Indian Super League 2021 tactical video show. Today we will see how Bengaluru FC will set up under Carlos Godard for the upcoming season. Having joined Indian Super League in the 4th season, Bengaluru FC have risen to be recognized as one of the top team in the league in the short time frame after the final appearance in the first edition under Albert Roca, losing out narrowly to Chennai FC. The promise of title came true when the new manager Carlos Godard led the Bengaluru FC to the ISL success in their second season. However, a run of bad form and unimpressive result forced Bengaluru FC to an early exit against eventual champion ATK in the 2019-20 season. Boasting of one of the strongest Indian country in the league, Bengaluru FC will hope to bring trophy to Bengaluru this time. Since Miku has left Bengaluru FC, club have found very difficult to replace him. They have tried various strikers, but nobody has found the same success which Miku got with them. So this season, Bengaluru FC have brought in two new strikers. They have signed Brazilian Clinton Silva and Norwegian Christian Opseth. Both having experience of playing in Asia, and they will hope these two strikers alongside their Indian players and Deshel Brown, who they eventually want to release but did not find any suitors for him, will score enough goals so that they will not miss Miku this season. Other than the striker, Bengaluru FC have also brought in Mohun Bagan I-League title winning centre defender and defensive midfielder Fran Gonzalez. They have also signed Indian centre back Prateek Chaudhary from Mumbai City FC. Other than signing these players, they've also basically lost some key players in the form of Nishu Kumar, who has joined Kerala Blaster. Rafael Agasto has also left the club, and few more foreigners have left it. But now let's talk about their top 3 foreign players. On top of my list is Eric Patalu. I personally think they are one of the best signing ever. If you compare all the signing from 2013 season, the impact and overall qualities he has provided to the club is, I think, very high as compared to other foreigners. And since Carlos Godard has took over, he has been part of his team and managing whole game from the midfield. I think his performance this season will be very important with the new players coming in, new foreigners coming in. Somebody like Fran Gonzalez coming in the defense. Eric Patalu will hope that he will boss the midfield. Talking about his number since he joined Bengaluru FC, which was 2017-18 season, he has played 47 games, scored 6 goals, provided 8 assists, also created 33 chances. Talking about his expected goals were just 4.2. Talking about his passes, he has attempted 2,584 passes with a success rate of 84%. He has also provided 29 key passes, done 300 ball recoveries, and he is very strong on the air, not just in offense but in defense also. So he has attempted around 316 air challenges, out of which 62% were success. So he provides the threat in the set pieces, in adding the both boxes, while defending also, while attacking also, and that's how his majority of the goals come. With the signing of Fran Gonzalez, they will hope that they will have two players who can score from set pieces. Now let's talk about their number 2 player to watch out for. Celton Silva is the second player in the list. The Brazilian come along with the dynamism up front. He's a very skilly player who do lots of skills, as he's Brazilian, and his overall experience in Asia will have Bengaluru FC. He likes to play on the last line of the defense, sometimes likes to drop in midfield to build up the play, but I think Bengaluru FC will hope that he will leave that for Sunil Chhetri, and he will stretch the defense by playing on the last line of the defense. Talking about his numbers, since he has come in Asia, he has been a huge success wherever he has played. So just talking about his number from 2016-17 season, he has played 125 games, scored 70 goals, provided 26 assists. I think if you add both of them, it's basically 96 goals involvement in 125 games is very good. He has played in AFC Champions League also, so he come with very good experience. He has taken 420 shots, out of which 191 were on the target. His expected goals 64 basically, so 6 less than his actual goals. He is also very good dribbles, which tell about his dribble attempt and success. He has attempted around 431 dribbles with a success rate of 52%. And now just summing up this number, average per 90 minutes, he scored around 0.56 goals, provided 0.21 assist, with 1.53 shots on target and 3.5 dribbles per match. So in last few seasons, he has been also playing as a number 10 sometime. So I think he provide that flexibility for Carlos Godard when he need to change some formation. I think when he didn't bring some like Opseth or Howkip also, Indian striker they have, or maybe Brown to attack more, so he can drop down in the as a number 10 role, or they can shift Chhetri to left side and then put Silva on the number 10 role. I think he provided the tactical flexibility to Carlos Godard, which he was missing last season. He is not a typical number 9. I think he like to be part of build-up play. He will not just wait in the box for his chances. I think he basically involved more in the build-up as compared to other strikers they have in past. Number 3 player in my list is Franz Gonzalez, Mohun Bagan, I-League title-winning defensive midfielder or centre-back, whatever you say. And last season he was one of the most impressive player in the in the I-League, and has many suitors in the Indian Super League. I think Kerala Blasters and there were a couple of more clubs who wanted to sign him. Eventually, I think with the COVID and everything circumstances, he signed for Bengaluru FC. He is a goal-scoring defender, but majority of his goals last season came from penalties and set pieces. But of course, in set pieces, he will provide the threat alongside Eric Patalu. So, and last season he also scored hat-trick against Niroka FC in the I-League. Talk about his number just in last season, he's played 16 games, scored 10 goals, provided 1 assist, also created 12 chances for his teammates, and his expected goals were around 7 goals. He attempted around 688 passes with 82% success. And Carlos will hope that this success rate will go high at Bengaluru FC, because he liked to play from the back. Also done 101 ball recoveries, and he is also very good in the air. So he has attempted around 178 challenges, which 55% were success. He had made 38 tackles, which is less, and out of those 38, only 45% were success. Also done 92 interceptions. So he is not that aggressive defender. I think Zuanan has to done that role for upcoming season. I think he will be basically he will study the situation and then take the action, maybe drop deep. So he will not do lots of tackles like other centre backs, but he is very steady player to have in your defense. And of course, with the offensive threat in the set pieces, it will be very important for Bengaluru FC when sometimes their forwards are not able to score. Then you have somebody like Rahul Bheke, somebody like Eric Patalu, somebody like Fran Gonzalez to join the attack on the set pieces, on the corner and free kick. I think that will be a major threat for Bengaluru FC for the upcoming season. Let's talk about their now top 3 Indian players. I think there is no surprise here. Sunil Chhetri is on the top of the list. Captain Fantastic for India and Bengaluru FC. I think he has been driving force for Bengaluru FC in last 7 years now, since he signed for the club in 2013. And he is one of the major reason for the club success on the pitch. Of course, off the pitch club have also set standard as compared to other Indian clubs in past or in present. So Sunil Chhetri performance again will be very important for Bengaluru FC, because alongside these foreign players, he is like a foreign player for them, because of his quality and experience, and one of the most experienced player in the setup now. Talking about his numbers, since 2016 I have taken for club and country. There is no need to give any reference to numbers, but just for formality, let's do it. He has played in 131 games, scored 75 goals, provided 20 assists, also created 149 chances with 148 key passes. His expected goals were just 60 goals, which is 15 goals less than his actual goals. And eventually, last 3-4 seasons, he has not played as a centre forward or a striker, which he used to do when he was younger. Now he plays in a more of a playmaker role on the left side, or a number 10 or a secondary striker. So Bengaluru FC will hope that he will continue to do that. Wherever he play, he score those goals. Of course, will be on the penalties duties, which means Fran Gonzalez will not take those penalties this season, and Sunil Chhetri will be taking all of those penalties whenever they get. So his performance, I think it's not something that he need to do more. He has been doing it on a regular basis, and Bengaluru FC and their fans will hope that he will continue doing so. Second player in the list, it's also not a surprise, Rahul Bheke. His performance for Bengaluru FC have been very reliable and consistent since he joined the club. He's also scored that winner against FC Goa in the ISL final, and I think fans love that goal which he scored. he can play anywhere in the defense. I think on the left side also, center back or right back. But I personally think that he will, because they've signed Pratik Chaudhary now, and I think that he will play as a right back or right wing back, whichever formation Carlos pick for whichever next season or whichever match he pick for that formation. So I think his performance in the defense, and if they play Ashik Kurain as a left back, then his performance also as a right back will be more important, because then he has to provide that defensive stability when Ashik Kurain join the attack from the left side. So let's see what kind of setup Carlos play, and I have suggested a couple of setup also in the tactical part of the video. Third player in the list is Gurpreet Singh Sandhu. Since he came back from Norway to join Bengaluru FC, he has been performing very well for Bengaluru FC. He is one of the best performer since he came back. If you even compare with foreign players or Indian players, he's basically has given that stability to the defense because he can communicate. He's very good on the crosses, and overall, if you see his numbers as a goalkeeper, he has been the best goalkeeper in the Indian Super League now since he came back. And I think proof his doubters wrong when many said that we don't know what he's doing in Norway. So since he came back to Bengaluru FC, I think overall his performance has been very good, and Bengaluru FC will hope that he will provide the same kind of performance in the defense for them, which means that their players can attack more, because they know Gurpreet Singh Sandhu is there in the if sometime we have seen last few season, he has added that he has also started coming off his line and clear those balls, something which not at the Manuel Neuer level, but at least in India we have not seen goalkeepers doing that confidently. Gurpreet has done it. He is very aggressive player in nature also on the field. So I think Bengaluru FC will hope that he will continue doing so, which means that they will have a stable defense for the upcoming season. Let's talk about tactical side. Carlos Queiroz go-to formation has been 4-2-3-1. If you see most of the matches in last 2 seasons since he's taken over the Bengaluru FC, I think sometime he tried to change. He has tried 4-4-2, 4-3-3, and in the later part of the last season where the form dipped, I think maybe he was preparing for ATK. He tried 3-5-2 or 3-4-1-2 formation. Maybe he was preparing for ATK, and that was basically that did not work for them. If you see the performance in the later phase of the last season, but I think this season he has signed the players accordingly. So his go-to formation I think should be 4-2-3-1. So I have selected 4-2-3-1. So there is some questions here with Nishu Kumar has left the club. Who will be left back? I think they have signed Ajit Kumar, another Kumar from Chennai City. Indian left back, very good player. I think he can play there. There is option of Ashik Kurain. There is the option of another couple of more youngsters are there, Prague and one more. Even Rahul Beki can play there, but I have went ahead with Ajit Kumar. And I think in some formation you will see Ashik Kurain playing as a left back or left wing back. On the defense, I think there is no questions. I'm starting with the number 5 and number 55. So interesting number by Fran as a centre back, and Gurpreet Singh Sandhu on the goal. In the midfield, we have not talked about Dimas Delgado much till now. I think he is very important player for Bengaluru FC. But he's 37 now, so they have to manage his fitness and game time accordingly. But I think when everyone is fit, I think he will start alongside Eric Patalo in the midfield. Up front, I have gone with Udanta Singh on the right, Ashik Kurain on the left, Sunil Chhetri as a number 10 or the secondary striker you can say, and Silva as a centre forward. I think 4-2-3-1, very normal, nothing new here. If you see the moment they were hoping for Chhetri to basically drop in midfield to help, which Silva also like to drop in midfield, and they will hope that Ashik Kurain, Udanta Kumar will provide those direct run from the wings, which means that the fullback will be always occupied, and then Chhetri and Silva can dominate opponent centre back, and then Eric and Dimas Delgado can come and basically operate in the opponent midfield, which gave them numerical advantage against the opponents. So simple movement. I have created the triangle here, triangle or whatever you can say, between Ashik Kurain, Chhetri and Silva. You can see these four players will be hoping to operate in tandem, and then Eric Patalu basically coming late in the box, and then Ajit Kumar, and if they have lots of ball position, they're playing on the opponent half, then you can see Ajit Kumar and Rahul Bheke joining the attack from the wings, and Fran Gonzalez, Joanan and Dimas Delgado staying back, providing the stability on the back if there is a counter attack. I think this is one case, 4-2-3-1, I think, which is ideal scenario for them. Everything is picked accordingly, where there is no tactical genius required. You pick everything on the on their best position. So Chhetri is a number 10, Ajit Kumar is a left back, but they have some options to play with, I think. Especially Silva, if you see last couple of seasons, he has also played as a number 10 or a secondary striker role, which means they can put Chhetri on left or Ashik on the left back. So I've created a same formation, 4-2-3-1. Another scenario in this, that which I talked about, Silva playing as a number 10 and Ashik dropping as a left back, very attacking left back. And we have seen last season Ashik playing there. He has played couple of games for India also in the same position, and he is a very, I don't know, I don't agree that he should be playing the left back, but because I think that his talent is more utilized when he's a part of the final third. Maybe he's not that good defensively, so but it depends on what their head coach thinks, and he has used Ashik past as a left back. Now with no Nishu Kumar, Ajit Kumar in experience in ISL, which means that in some games, maybe in which they need to attack more, where they're facing low blocks teams, because they have not scored enough goal last season, and they will hope that they'll score more goal because they have added the firepower in the attack. So what I have done is that it's the same team. I have just made couple of changes. Dimas Delgado, as I said, is 37. His fitness need to be managed. So in some games, you will see Suresh Singh starting, which we saw last season also. Ashik Kurain moved back as a left back. Sunil Chhetri as a left midfielder or a left winger. He has played there basically for many seasons for Bengaluru FC. Ashley Westwood started using him as a left midfielder or left winger, and then Silva has dropped down as a number 10 basically, and then their Norwegian forward number 9 Opseth has come in. Udanta Singh keeps his place. So very attacking formation, and in this formation also means that Eric Patalu and Joanan, they have to cover left side when Ashik Kurain is roaming ahead on the attack. So let's see what kind of movement we can hope for. I think Silva and Chhetri will play as a two playmaker to create chances for the teammates, for themselves also. Udanta Singh providing the direct threat on the wing, and Ashik Kurain joining them, giving the direct runs from the defense and arriving late in the box, maybe outside the box, to score those goals when required. And I have connected all the front four players, and you can see Ashik Kurain operating on those left spaces, then you Chhetri and Silva and Opseth operating in and around the box, and Ashik Kurain also arriving in the box. When you have this kind of setup with Ashik joining attack, Sunil Chhetri, Silva, Udanta Singh, Opseth, then I think they will hope that Eric Patalu with his physicality will drop in defense alongside Fran Gonzalez and Joanan, and Suresh and Rahul Bheke will basically also stay back. He will not overlap as much you will do in other formation, because you are giving that role to Ashik, that you are free of defensive responsibility, especially when you have the ball. So when they have ball, they will hope that Ashik Kurain will play as a winger, not as a left back. And when they don't have the ball, then they will play as a left back. So I think this is another scenario where they need to attack more compared to their previous 11, which I suggested. They can use 4-3-3 formation, I think, which is kind of the same. They may play Suresh, Dimas and Eric Patalu together, then put Chhetri on left, Silva on center, and then Udanta on right. So also Opseth is a left-footed player, so he give another tactical flexibility, because he's left-footed. They don't have many left-footed in the team. Ashik is there, if I remember correctly, is left-footed, and the Opseth is another player who is left-footed. So I think this provides them another option to play, and they will hope that they don't need to change their formation much. I think 4-2-3-1 is the go-to formation, but sometime when they're lacking goal, then coaches or say Carlos Queiroz tried some different formation last season, which did not work in their favor, especially in the crunch part of the season. And talking about that formation from last season, I have also made one formation if he goes specific, because we will see teams playing 3 or back 5 in this ISL, in upcoming ISL. So I think in some games, where say if you're playing against ATK, if Carlos think that he need to go back to back 3, then Pratik Chaudhary can come in as a centre back. You can also play Rahul Bheke there and then put Harmanjot Singh Kabra as a right wing back. But I think Pratik is a very good Indian defender. They have signed him from Mumbai City FC, I think, and they know that why they have signed him. He has a very good qualities. And then information that you can have Ashik as a left wing back, and then you have Rahul Bheke as a right wing back. Bheke likes to also attack, so that's give him more freedom compared to the previous formation. And then in midfield, of course, you can't play Dimas in this, because I have put in 2 foreign strikers, Silva and their Norwegian number 9. And then you have Eric Patalu in the midfield with Chhetri, basically a split striker formation. Silva as a number 10, Chhetri on the left side, because he likes to come inside from the left side, and the Norwegian number 9 who is a left-footed, so he can play as a right inside forward, you can say, with Silva operating in between both of them, and drop if they need to defend. I think Chhetri and Opseth can drop down. Silva can be that focus point of the attack. So in this, you have Ashik Kuran as a left wing back. He can attack very naturally, because attack is natural for him. Defense is not natural, so he need to work on that if they need to get success. Him playing the left back or left wing back. So in this, you have Chhetri and Silva and Opseth playing in tandem. I think Chhetri play in that left-sided area, Opseth will play on the right-sided area, and Silva is in between them. And when they're attacking, and then you will see Ashik Kuran joining them. Rahul Bheke is staying wide. You will see Zwanan again covering those spaces which are left by Ashik Kuran while defending. And then you have somebody like Fran Gonzalez also staying. I think he will be more utilized if you play in back 3. And then you Pratik Chaudhary and Eric Patalu arriving in the box late for if there are any crosses from the wings from Rahul Bheke or Ashik Kuran. So I think this is another setup where they can create these 2 blocks. One block of attack, one in defense, with Suresh in between. Lots of responsibility on Suresh if they play him, and I think we will see him playing more under FIFA Under-17 World Cup star. I say this for Indian youngster that he is also one of my favorite player. There are many, but he is one of the. He has all the abilities to play that role, whichever role I have suggested in 2 formations till now, and with last season experience, I think he will be hoping to perform better and get into the Indian senior team now. So I think we could have provided more formations, but I personally think that Carlos need to stick with his traditional 4-2-3-1 with some changes in setup in personnel, because he has lots of options. Remember, he has Brown as a striker, Haukeep as a striker, so he has lots of players to change, in the same system. So if you don't want to play somebody like Silva, Opseth, he can bring Brown or Haukeep, and then I think that will work for them instead of changing the system completely. In some games, of course, sometimes you need to change the system. So, for example, if they tried last season against ATK, he tried 3-5-2 or 3-4-1-2. So he can try that, but playing back 3 is not easy, especially when you're playing one of the game. So you have to tactically implement it very well. You have to train in the same formation for many days so that players know what is their role, because it is a bit different compared to 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. So I think I will love Bengaluru FC to stick to 4-2-3-1 and not try many other formation. 4-3-3 they can try, 4-4-2 they can try, because 4-2-3-1, if Chhetri is playing as a number 10, you can put as a secondary striker, then they can try 4-4-2 also. But I think 4-2-3-1 should be the go-to formation. Now talking about the uncapped player to watch out for, there are lots of players I could have picked for, but I have picked for Thoi Singh, which they have signed Reliance Youth Foundation, 16-year-old. He is registered for ISL, which is very good for a 16-year-old player. But he is one of the best upcoming talent India have. Bangalore FC fans will hope that they will get some glimpse of his talent, maybe from bench, maybe in some games. He's registered. I'm not sure that he will play or not, but even if he don't play, it will be very good for him to train with the players like Sunil Chhetri or these foreign players. It will help him to mature quickly and to basically improve his game. So he's my basically player to watch out for. He's also striker, so they have lots of strikers now in their roster. Talking about their strength of weakness and strength and weakness. Talking about their strength, I think the depth they have in their attack is very good. The Indian players quality or Indian players overall, they have, Sunil Chhetri, Udanta, Ashik, Rahul Beke, Pratik Chaudhary, Suresh, Edmund Alandika, another player who did very well for East Bengal in this short stint before he got injured. He's another attacker they have, number 10. So it is very good depth if you compare to other teams like Odisha, Jamshedpur, who don't have the same kind of Indian player depth which they have. Talking about they are only club in the league, not only, but one of the clubs who have 7 foreigners signed till now. A majority clubs have went ahead with 6 foreigners, so which means extra options, extra strikers to call for. There were 3 foreign strikers. Sunil Chhetri, who's another striker. Hauke, good Indian striker. So lots of striker to call upon, and which means he can play 4-4-2, 3-5-2. So he have these 2 strikers to change even from the bench with 5 substitution allowed in the Indian Super League now. I think if he's playing 3-5-2, he playing 2 striker front, he can bring 2 good strikers from the bench to replace them. So which shows that the options they have, depth. Talking about the overall weakness, I think the left back is one department which they are bit weak. If you talk about Ashik, Ajit, there are a couple of more youngsters. It can be exposed, if Ashik is playing, so that left-sided area can be explored. But I personally don't want to see Ashik playing the left back. I think he's an attacking player. He should be used in attack. But let's see what club Carlos decide to use him. Along that side, I think they are sometimes over-dependent on Sunil Chhetri to perform. Especially last few seasons, since Miku left, they're not able to replace him with a good striker. Now with the arrival of Silva and the Norwegian forward they have, they will hope that they will share that attacking burden from Chhetri, which will give him a bit of freedom to play also. So they will hope that goal will be shared among these forward players, not just Chhetri doing the bulk of scoring. So I think that they should be not over dependent on Chhetri. Along that side, I think foreign players, if they have signed 7 foreign players, I would have personally signed a midfielder in place of Brown, but I understand why they have went ahead with Brown, because he was under contract, so it's not easy to release players nowadays, especially with the COVID situation. So, and they might not find somebody who's interested to take him on a loan, so they have to go ahead with him, or they would have might go with 6 foreigners. But now they have went to 7 foreigners because Dimas is 37-year-old and Suresh is their one option. Then Harmanjot Singh Kabra is another option. Little bit, if you talk about in midfield, there is worry of depth. You can have Fran Gonzalez playing as a defensive midfielder also. So you can put Pratik Chaudhary as a centre back and put Fran as a defensive midfielder in some games. So they have to manage, but every team have to. But the depth they have, I think it's one of the best in the Indian Super League till now, which I have analyzed, especially because of the Indian players they have. I think if you see their team, they can feel the playing 11 of Indian players. Good Indian players, Gurpreet Singh on the goal, somebody like Harmanjot Singh Kabra as a right back, Rahul Beke, Pratik Chaudhary as a centre back, Ajit Kumar as a left back, Suresh and say for example Idman as a centre midfield, Ashik, Udanta, Chhetri and Hauke. This is just hypothetical, but they have 11 good Indian players, and of course along that side they also have 7 foreigners. So which tell us that there is no reason for Bangalore FC fan to be worried. I think they will hope that if this squad perform on their potential, all the players, I think then they should be fighting for ISL title, not just for playoff. Bangalore FC are also in the race to qualify for AFC Cup group stage. I think they will be playing in playoff, or they might qualify for group stage regularly, depending on how many groups AFC to form for South Asia. So if they qualify for group stage, that will means FC Goa in the Champions League, ATK Mohun Bagan in the AFC Cup, and Bangalore FC in the AFC Cup. I think 3 top teams which we might see in the title race also playing midweek games. So this depth which you talked about might be used there. They might field these players which might not play regularly in the league. They can play in the AFC Cup. So I think that's another reason they have signed these numbers of foreign players. Of course, they can only register 4 foreign players for AFC Cup, but which means they can rotate in league if they want. And we, as an Indian football fan, will hope that all 3 clubs of India, Bangalore FC, FC Goa, ATK Mohun Bagan, will perform well in Asia, so that overall status of Indian football keep growing in the Asia. So I hope you guys have liked this video till whatever I am able to gather all the information about the new foreign players, Indian players I have given. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you have not subscribed till now, please subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.